What's going on, all of you fantastic freelancers? My name is William, and man, does it feel good to say that once again. Before we get started, yes, the channel is still alive. I'm not giving up on Anthem. To make a long story short, EA Play put me way behind on my life, my career, and literally everything else in the last 2 weeks have been dedicated to me playing catch-up, essentially. However, I am pretty much all caught up, and I'm working on that EA Play video as we speak right now. Well, 2 videos, but we'll go into that later. Because today we have some juicy leaks courtesy of Javano over at Anthem Archive. As usual, this guy works his tail off to give us some interesting stuff to talk about. And it's especially appreciated when there is pretty much nothing else to discuss about Anthem right now. So without further ado, let's hop in and see what we've got. I wanted to go on ahead and start things off with the decals. Now, there are still a lot of them that haven't released from a previous video, so I guess they'll be coming out eventually, maybe with the Cataclysm. I'm not 100% sure, that's probably a lot of speculation. The first decal is called Iron Resolve, and it looks pretty okay. You guys already know I'm a big fan of red, but this feels like a little bit too much red in my opinion. Our next decal is called Swamp Walk, and it kind of looks like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to me. I mean, the pattern on the shoulders and the helmet, the legs, the torso, it kind of feels a little Ninja Turtle-y to me. The last 2 wraps are called Chemical Burn. I think it looks really similar to a previous wrap. I can't remember its name off the top of my head. It just looks okay. I mean, if it's going to end up being another one of those 61,000 coins, I won't be purchasing this for sure. And the last wrap is called Fallen Comrade. Big fan of this one, and out of the 4, I would probably get this one above the others. Interesting design, and the X pattern could have some pretty neat implications on a storm set. Now, I know what you all are here for. You all are here for the armor, and naturally, I understand. Just a heads up, I really don't know what they were thinking with like 2 or 3 of these armor sets. I don't know if it's a steampunk or industrial or, I don't know, toxic industrial Bioshock world that they're trying to go for, but hey, here we go. I'm not going to hold you Interceptor mains up. I'm going to go on ahead and show you the beautiful new Interceptor armor called the Sweep Shriek. Now, this is certainly different than anything else that we have seen before. The fins, the spikes, it's pretty cool. I like the helmet a lot. Actually, I pretty much like everything about this Interceptor set. Even the elbow blades that it has kind of looks like scorpions, or I don't know what they were called, scarabs, the Egyptian scarabs. It also looks like there is some leather bounding on the legs and the torso and on the canisters on the legs, but overall I'd rate this set a pretty hard 8.5 out of 10. Now, while I fully believe there should be more Interceptor armor, that was just about it for this rotation, and we've got 2 armor sets for the Ranger and an armor set for the Storm. I guess we'll go on ahead and move on to the Deadbolt, and the Deadbolt, I really don't know what to say about it. I mean, if I was going to give it a name, I would definitely call it Deadbolt. The faceplate kind of reminds me of a bulldog's jawline, and I really don't know what to say about this armor set. It is certainly very unique and bulky, and I just don't know what to tell you. I don't even have a rating for this thing. I mean, I'm sure there could be some cool color combinations. I'm just not seeing why. So yeah, that was the Deadbolt. I'm sorry, I really just don't have an opinion on that thing. But moving on, we do have another really cool Storm armor set, and I don't know what they've been doing with these Storm armor sets lately, but they have been knocking them out of the park. However, the name for this guy is a little odd, and it's called the Muscle Storm armor set. Now, from the last armor set, the Onyx armor set, it does look like they're going with a more angular and jagged approach, and the helmet is so very clean. I like the metal layering, and I like it how it goes all the way down the head. It's a shame that they don't show how each helmet like opens up, because I feel like this helmet would have a pretty cool open up sequence. You know what I'm talking about when you're in the launch bay and you're about to fly out to your mission. If you have the default helmet, it'll open up and show you your face and everything. I wish they would do that with these armor sets, because it's helmets like this that give me the feel that they would be pretty damn cool. The legs look very similar to the Onyx armor set, and the torso, big fan of it. I like anything that adds some armor and bulk to the Storm. The last Ranger armor set we have is called, the Pestilence armor set, and I really don't know what they're going for with this armor set. Clearly, it is an armor set that covers more of the body and mutates more of the body than anything else we have seen prior. Like I said, I get some serious Bioshock or toxic dangerous world vibes. Maybe this is what the Anthem game team wears whenever they have to go into the Anthem game subreddit. I don't know. Personally, I would call this Ranger armor set the dad bod, because, I mean, just look at that torso. But maybe I'm just a bigger fan of clean and slick armor sets, and I might be biased, I'll admit. Now, that is all that we have for the armor sets, and I was going to cover what specific files were data mined, but that seems like a waste of all of our time because we really don't know what that's going to look like, especially without any assets aside from the text file. However, in lieu of that, I did want to cover the new melee weapons that will be coming with the Cataclysm. Now, some of you will probably comment in the comments below that this is relatively old news, but considering that this stuff released on my flight at EA Play and I really wasn't able to cover it, plus I didn't see any other content creators really touching on this, I thought I would go on ahead and keep you all informed as to what each one of these abilities will do. Now, there are 16 of them, so that means 4 for each javelin. And keep in mind that some of them will prime and some of them will detonate, which will make you more versatile on the battlefield, and you can equip whichever one you need to kind of fill that role and kind of fill that niche. What we'll do is go down the list, and it looks like they're kind of out of order, so I will try my best to explain which one is which and for which javelin is it which. First up, we have the shock mace for the Ranger, which isn't anything new. It's an electrically charged mace that adds shock damage to enemies. In other words, primes them. Nothing new. Moving on, we have the explosive strike for the Storm, which, again, isn't anything new. It's the enemies with an explosive strike dealing high damage. Next up, we have the Flame Mace for the Ranger, which is a burning mace that sets enemies on fire. We've got Shock Strike for the Storm, which hitting enemies with an electrically charged strike, shocking them. Okay. We have Venomous Blades for the Interceptor, which are double-bladed daggers that poison their targets. Seismic Glove for the Colossus, which isn't anything new, but it's heavy glove that's smashed into the ground causes damage to a large area. We've got the Shock Glove for the Colossus, which is an electrically charged glove that can smash into the ground, shocking enemies in a large area. We've got the Inferno Glove, which is a flaming glove that can be smashed in the ground, burning enemies in a large area. We've got the Cryo Blades for the Interceptor, which are double-bladed daggers that freeze their targets, in other words, prime. We've got the Acid Glove for the Colossus, which... sigh. It's a venomous glove that can be smashed into the ground, believe it or not, applying an acid effect to enemies in a large area. We've got the Twin Blades, which are the Interceptor's base melee weapons, which are double-bladed daggers that now allow for it to move faster and allow its attacks to be chained, blah blah blah. We've got the Shock Blades for the Interceptor, which are double-bladed daggers that shock their targets, in other words, prime. Freezing Strike for the Storm that hits enemies with an icy strike, freezing them. Heck yes, I've been waiting for this. We've got the Frost Mace for the Ranger, which freezes its enemies. Acid Strike for the Storm, which hits enemies with a venomous strike, applying acid to them. And then you've got the Seismic Mace for the Ranger, which is classified as a heavy-hitting mace that deals high damage. Anyways, that about rounds up what has been leaked to us, and I think that's a fair bit of information. As a quick side note before I start closing down the video, yes, I am working on that EA Play video, and yes, I'm working on that State of the Game video for Anthem, and yes, I'm working on that Cataclysm video. To make a long story short, I was gone for EA Play for 6 days, which meant I had to put my life, my career, and literally everything on hold. And while there, our schedule was pretty tight. I wasn't able to get too much work done, and it has put me behind. And when I got back, not only did I have a whole week's worth of work to get done at a deadline, but I also had stuff that was past due to get done as well. Moral of the story is, I've been playing catch-up for the last 2 weeks. No, I haven't given up on Anthem. Yes, if I had it my way, I would still be making videos. And yes, there is still plenty enough to cover. Anyways, what did you all think about these armor sets, decals, and new melee weapons? Have any personal favorites? Do you think the weird armor sets are pretty weird? Let me know in the comment section below, as I always value your feedback, and I will respond if there is conversational potential. And if you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date on all things about your game Anthem, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as it really does help me out more than you guys can imagine. And lastly, a very big and special thank you to my channel members and patrons for their support. I do not have their cards up, but their names are in the description below for the most part. I genuinely haven't been able to finish up the graphics and the new stuff for the patrons. I've got something cool that I'm experimenting with, and I just wasn't able to get it done for this video. But please know that your support does mean the world to me, and it does help me a lot, especially when Anthem is in this lull state right now. Your support allows me to make improvements to the channel that hopefully you guys guys will get to see in the very near future. As always, I hope all of you fantastic freelancers have a phenomenal day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next video very soon. And remember, freelancers, we are strong alone, but we are stronger together.